There is a big debate these days, and you must have heard it, many entrepreneurs or big industry leaders speaking about more hours that people should put in as far as the working hours are concerned. And this happens, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, at a time when people are talking about work-life balance and so on and so forth. Now, L&T chairman has suggested that Saturday, Sunday should be a working day. There shouldn't be any off. Sunday should be a working Sunday. People should work. What do you do sitting at home, says the chairperson of L&T. And now, after Mr. Narayan Murthy of Infosys, now he seems to be suggesting that people should work about 90 hours per week. The maths will tell you that if you work 90 hours per week, that is about 12.8 hours per day for all 7 days. So you get onto the treadmill and you keep running continuously on that. So 90 hours per week is equal to, in 5 days, becomes 18-hour shift. Out of 24 hours, you will be at your office or whatever you are doing, wherever you are doing it for 18 hours. 6-day shift becomes 15 hours per day. If you are working for 7 days, then about 12.8, 13 hours shift a day is what he seems to be suggesting. Now, travel time will be an added factor each day. So basically, your productive hours, the ones that they expect out of you, is about 13 hours for 7 days, and add to that travel time as well. So you go home, sleep, get up, and get ready to work and come back and just keep repeating this every single day. Let's just listen in first to the chairperson of L&T while he made these comments.
Why is L&T still making employees work on Saturdays even after being one of the largest conglomerates and the face of India's business world?
I regret I'm not able to make you work on Sundays, to be honest. If I can make you work on Sundays, I'll be more happier, because I work on Sundays also. What do you do sitting at home? How long can you stare at your wives? How long can the wife stare at your husband? Come on, get to the office and start working.
Is it feasible? Should people work more? Are we being lazy? Are we not being our productive best? Is there any concept of work-life balance, or your productive young life should only be invested in working countless hours? Let's discuss this further. Mr. Shantanu Rooj, founder and CEO of Team Lease EdTech, is joining us at this moment. We also are being joined by a young entrepreneur, Ayush Nambiar, MD, Flags Communications and Nambiar Group. Gentlemen, thank you so much for giving your time to NDTV. Ayush, let me start with you, because I've been told that you are somebody who supports longer working hours. There is a debate. The direction across the globe seems to be suggesting, work-life balance, 4 days a week. It makes employees more productive. While we are hearing industry leaders here, Mr. Narayan Murthy, and now the chairperson of L&T, seeking more hours. Where do you stand on that?
I think after watching this particular debate, my team is going to kill me. But I am of a very, very strong opinion that, I think work never sleeps. Business never sleeps. Even during COVID, I remember, companies giving work from home, but also asking for 14, 16 hours from their employees. Work-life balance is a myth. Work-life balance, I think, is a very, very big myth. People who have to work will work. And once they have worked for an XYZ number of years, I think they will automatically achieve a life balance. Rather, this very terminology of work-life balance was one where they were promoting that you should work for an XYZ amount of time in your life so you can achieve a balance of life, essentially. So I am a very, very, very big believer that work comes first. Today, I spend over 20 hours working. I make that mark to not just 90 hours, rather I do 104 hours in a week. So I am of that particular opinion.
So you are saying that for a certain amount of time, people should actually work more, and that possibly later in their stage when they have achieved a stature, success, or then possibly they can look at the other balance in life. That's one side of the debate. But Mr. Rouge, where do you stand on this? Ayush's employees and his colleagues might be, in fact, switching off their television while their boss speaks about 20 hours a day. But where do you stand on this debate, sir?
Are you really serious? People should work 90 hours, 104 hours. I'm not too sure. In my opinion, people work because it helps you make a great life. You don't live just because you have to work, right? And work-life balance is actually a fact of life. I mean, you go, you work, you earn, you do. I mean, the perspective of an entrepreneur, perspective of the head of the organization is different from the perspective of everybody else. We need to understand that. We need to absorb that and realize that. It's a fact of life. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I would love to work all the time because the amount of passion that an entrepreneur carries, the mission with which you are being driven, I think that drives you. It's okay to work for longer hours for a smaller spurt of time. You can't do it for a long period of time. You can't do it consistently. You can't do it, without effective productivity, without effective motivation. You need time to recharge. You need time to spend with family so that you can come back to work and do that much of productivity. In today's time, I'm not too sure that the number of hours spent in office actually denotes productivity or denotes productive hours. Because in today's world, where everybody is connected on the mobile phones, you're always at work. I'm not too sure how do you define being at work.
Mr. Nambia, let me then ask you this. Like you said that work-life balance is a myth, but there are documented studies across the globe, very reputed, institutions have come out. Burnout is a real factor, sir. People can't go on doing one thing, day in, day out. And if people like you are working 20 hours a day, sleeping possibly for 4 hours only, I believe, that completes the 24-hour cycle. Where do you then, if I am a young 25, 26-year-old man working for 20 hours a day for next 15 years, I possibly won't have a life in any case. I will miss out on most of the good things that young people are looking at. And where do I then get that work-life balance from in the later years?
Sir, I will like to add into this particular point of yours in a very strong way. That is that I know at least 100 different entrepreneurs who started their entrepreneurial life from their school days, where they used to probably leave home at 6:37 for their school, reach at 8, get over with school at 2, and then spend the rest 10 to 12 hours building something so strong that once they were done with their school, they did not even need a graduating life. Rather, I know people who were going for internships. Myself, I used to dodge school sometimes and go for my internship, and particularly build on what I'm sitting on right now. So I think there are hundreds of documents that will research studies from different universities, different places, talking about so many things. But there are so many actual life case studies, so many real stories, so many entrepreneurs that you see today who have started their journey so young and done so.
But Ayush,
today you look at Ritesh Agarwal.
Sorry, just to be clear. So you are saying, if I'm understanding it correctly, that it's not like a lifelong commitment of 20 hours. You give in a short span of time, you possibly whatever the productive span of time is, you in that burst you give it all, and then possibly later on you can enjoy on the laurels that you have built in that 5-10 year period. Is that what you're trying to say?
So, I that is exactly what I'm saying. But I think people need to be passionate. People need to be absolutely passionate into what they do. Now, I have somebody in my office who is my, he's my director studio. His job, he is fantabulous. He is somebody who would come in if he has to at 7 a.m. He will leave at 11 p.m. without me asking. Whereas my company has a 9:30 to 6:30, time span. And he does all that, not because he's been asked to, and not even because his client has asked to, but because he's so driven. He's so passionate. I think passion is the real, question when it comes to your employees as well, not just entrepreneurs. That is what I would like to.
Yeah, but Mr. Rouge, does it make sense that for a short span of that time, maybe you can, because, all of us go through that. For journalists, like people like us, it's a very high pressure job. Election days, you wrap those days very, very late in the night. You start at 5 o'clock in the morning, wrap them up at 12 o'clock in the night. So there are those days when you have those added pressure, but it can't be the way of life for most people.
So, Ankit, when you said it's a short burst of time, I agree. But the short burst of time is a matter of few days, few weeks, or maybe a month or so. It can't be for years. The way you spend your day is the way you spend your life. That's what my belief is. You can't be working for 15 years for this 20 hours a day and then believe that life starts after that. Life is there with you every day. I mean, how do you know you're going to live this 15 years and not die in between, right? So the way you spend your days, the way you spend your life is my first belief. Second thing is, I think people are passionate when it's your mission, your vision. It's very difficult to find passion for somebody else's vision. So if there's an alignment of the work with and if you actually find your heart's meeting with the mission of the company, the purpose of the company, I think that passion arises. And then you'll find some individuals willing to work for those extended number of hours. And third thing is, just because few entrepreneurs actually work that way, I don't think that sets the argument for everybody else to follow that. Drunk driving is never an argument against cars. So you can't generalize that for all employees in the organization. It works for few people
Shantanu,
for some part of the time and for a short burst of time.
Okay, Ayush, I'm completely out of time, but yeah, 30 seconds to you. Can wrap up your argument, please. Thank you.
So, Shantanuji, I just want to ask you one very, very simple question. You look at these people, you're in your office, you'll see wallpapers of on their desktop and their phones of Elon Musk, of Shah Rukh Khan, of maybe, other top 100 billionaires, 1,000 billionaires of the world. You look at any one of even their present stories. Elon Musk says he sleeps in his office. Narendra Modi says he sleeps in his office. They work 22, 23 hours. And, he must be 50, 55, I'm assuming.
Okay. No, you're right. I mean, there are examples to pick up from both sides. Even with Elon Musk, I've also seen posters of him on a sunny beach, having a time of his day with his family. I think the argument, like I said, of course, when it's required, you are passionate about something. For that period of time, if there is a task at hand, go all in. But largely, being on the treadmill for a very long time, you miss out on life sometimes. As Mr. Rouge was saying, what is the guarantee that you will see that tomorrow that you are trying to build, giving it all at this moment of time? Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And Ayush, in your 24 hours, whenever you have the time, let's catch up if you are done with those 20 hours of work and 4 hours of sleep.